After visiting the charming medieval village of Is in France, our tour bus headed towards the Principality of Monaco, where we would have the opportunity to visit the famous rock. The rock is a 62-meter tall monolith overlooking the sea and crowned with ramparts of the old town. This is the heart of the Principality and home of Monaco's main attractions: the Oceanographic Museum, the cathedral, and the palace. After the tour bus drove through the tunnel de Serravalle, we got our first glimpse of Monte-Carlo. See the Opera de Monte-Carlo building in the center of the picture. The next stop was at the underground parking garage, where after we left the bus we had to go up on an escalator to take the lift that would take us to the old town. This monumental example of highly charged Baroque Revival architecture has an impressive facade above the sea, towering over the sheer cliff face to a height of 85 meters. It took 11 years to build, using 100,000 tons of stone from La Turbie. The museum was inaugurated in 1910. Jacques-Yves Cousteau was director from 1957 to 1988. The museum celebrated its centenary in March 2010 after extensive renovations. This yellow submarine, named Submarine Anorep 1, was built in 1966, the same year that the Beatles' song was released as a single. It was actually the first submarine of Jacques Cousteau. The St. Martin Gardens next to the museum are immaculately kept, and the local, very pleasant climate is obviously conducive to growth. Now we are on our way to Monaco's cathedral. The Cathedral of Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Monaco is where Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier III got married in 1956. The cathedral was built in 1875 and 1903 and consecrated in 1911, and is on the site of the first parish church in Monaco, built in 1252 and dedicated to Saint Nicholas. Above the rose window, the ornate facade depicts Christ in Majesty. I'm glad we took time to capture video clips and pictures of the incredible Alps mosaic. The cathedral's organ facade, with its translucent slats and contemporary lighting, make it a true musical work of art. Saint Devote in the center of the altarpiece. Saint Nicholas's altarpiece is incomplete. 4 panels have disappeared, with only 18 pieces remaining. The cathedral has 183 stained glass windows that were restored between 1943 and 1948. Here is where many of the Grimaldis are buried, including Grace Kelly and, more recently, Rainier III. This palace was built in 1924 and inaugurated on May 1, 1930. The Princess Palace of Monaco is the official residence of the Prince of Monaco. Built in 1191 as a Genoese fortress, during its long and often dramatic history, it has been bombarded and besieged by many foreign powers. Since the end of the 13th century, it has been the stronghold and home of the Grimaldi family, who first captured it in 1297. The statue of François Grimaldi outside the palace commemorates his capture of the fortress disguised as a monk in 1297.
They change every hour, so every full hour there is a little change of one of these, so they not stay.
St. Mary's Tower, rebuilt by Charles III to resemble a medieval fortress. To the right is Albert I's clock tower in white stone from La Turbie. Views of Hercules Port, a natural bay at the foot of the ancestral rock of the Princess of Monaco. It is one of the few, if not the only, deep water port of the French Riviera. It is famous for its luxurious yachts and associated jet-set lifestyle. Located opposite the Monaco Grand Prix track, berths in Port Hercules are among the most prestigious and sought-after berths in the world, not only to view the fast-paced Grand Prix, but throughout the summer when countless super yachts visit the impressive principality. Panoramic view of the Palace Square. The best time to visit is around 11:55 in the morning, when the changing of the guards ceremony takes place.
Go. One. En avant. Marche.
Panoramic view of Fontvier, the newest of the 4 traditional quarters districts in the Principality of Monaco. Following are pictures captured as we walked to meet the tour bus for a ride on the Circuit de Monaco. The Circuit of Monaco is just on one weekend in the month of May of each year to host the Formula One Monaco Grand Prix.
Next to the Ferrari now, and this is the pole position, and this is also exactly the arrival line where we now. The arrival is here after 78 laps. 78 laps is the race. Totally 267 kilometers. Every lap is approximately 3 kilometers. In the next bend, you're going to see a sculpture in the middle of the street on the left. That's the famous Saint-Devote bend. The car you're going to see, the sculpture is the car, is the Bugatti that did win the first Grand Prix here in 1929. And the church below the bridge on the left is the Church of Saint-Devote, the protecting saint of Monaco. We saw the little chapel of Saint-Devote in the cathedral with the relics with her bones in one glass box. Saint-Devote is the protecting saint of the Prince family and of Monaco. We left the racetrack. We're not allowed to drive the entire lap. We have to leave the lap here, but we can see the lap on the right hand side. You see where the cars are parked here below the trees on the right, where people are walking. Where the yachts are, that's the racetrack. On the return back to the port, down to the swimming pool before they start again on the starting laps. And we are approaching the chicane. The next bend is the famous chicane. That's where we are now exactly. Back on the racetrack, we are driving in the opposite direction compared with the race. The cars during the race, they do come from the opposite side. Actually, this is the exit of the famous tunnel, but that's for us the entrance because we drive opposite. This is the famous tunnel that you can see on television. Above the tunnel is a hotel, the hotel and residence known as the Hotel Fairmont today, but it was built under the name of Love's Hotel when it was inaugurated in 1975. The American or the hotel chain from the United States, Love's. Now it's a Canadian hotel chain owning the hotel, Fairmont. 600 rooms, and it's the biggest hotel on the entire Riviera.
So we were finally on our way to the Casino Square, famous for its beautiful cars, its finely maintained gardens, and the presence of renowned jewelers and watchmakers. In other words, Casino Square is where luxury is present everywhere. Here are some of the beautiful cars mentioned earlier. panoramic view of the casino gardens and pavilions. The Grimaldi's casino created the family's wealth, but by the 1880s, Monaco had acquired a reputation as a decadent playground. The contemporary writer Sabine Baring-Gould described its frequent customers as the moral cesspool of Europe. However, when Rainier III died in 2005, he left both his palace and his country in a stronger and more stable state of repair financially and structurally than they had been for centuries. Another look at the hairpin turn on the Formula One circuit, but with a local bus and then a smart car driving round it. Then it was time to say goodbye to beautiful Monaco, as we had to return to Cannes to take the tender back to the Norwegian epic. After a day packed with activities, we were happy to return to the Norwegian epic, our home away from home, where we enjoyed a nice dinner at the Taste Contemporary restaurant. Then later in the evening we attended the performance of Burn the Floor at the Epic Theatre. This ballroom and Latin dance theatre company is renowned for its gifted dancers selected from the most prestigious dance competitions around the globe.